Lovely, Nigun. Thank you so much. Erev Tov, everybody. Tammy and I are delighted to join you this cold, rainy evening. We can be nice and cozy in the warm. And this evening, my theme is wisdom. Talking about integrity yesterday. And this evening, I'm going to be dipping into wisdom, but sometimes the flip side of wisdom and how that feels and how we can do things that support us. So I was very struck by a story by Naomi Levy, who's talking with God. And she remembers a time when she was putting together her Yom Kippur sermon, and she had a dream. She went to sleep that night and she had a dream. And it was a bit like a dream I once had when I was a probation officer, where I dreamt I was naked and had forgotten the report and was standing in court. But she, in fact, was standing in her dream. She was standing on the bima, and instead of her sermon, she pulled out narrow strips of paper. She read them out, and they were actually bills. One said $1.99, one said $5.69, and they were grocery store receipts. She turned one over and, to her surprise, found words from her sermon printed on the back, but they were all jumbled up. It was a nightmare that you and I can have anytime when we're under pressure. Yeah, Tammy, you probably get them too. So she then tells the story that the Talmud offers about Rabbi Eliezer, who was a young disciple of the great sage Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. I think he put together the Talmud. One day, in the presence of all the great scholars, Yochanan asked Eliezer to teach. Eliezer began to panic. He said, "I have nothing to teach because I am like a well that can't bring forth water. All I know is what you have taught me. I have nothing new to say." But Yochanan turned to his frightened student and said, "You are not a stagnant well. You are a spring that is forever bringing forth new water. With those words of encouragement, Eliezer stood and offered up insights that no ear had ever heard before. His face began to shine like the sun. When Eliezer was done speaking, his mentor, Yochanan, stood up, walked toward Eliezer, and kissed him on the head with pride and love. Sometimes, says Naomi Levy, we feel like imposters. We worry that we cannot possibly rise to the challenge that lies before us, but we are mistaken. When feelings of panic overtake you, remember Rabbi Yochanan's words of encouragement. You are a spring that is forever renewing itself. Gather up your confidence, take on your challenge, let your face shine, and let your creativity flow. And we move on to the call to prayer on page 4.
Baruch hu Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher b'dvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhma potech she'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who brings on the evening. And we turn over to page 8 for Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah mitzvot hukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. How can Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגד יומם ולילה. ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
אהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. And we turn over to page 14. אמת ואמונה כל זאת, וקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously in this song of freedom.
And an upbeat melody, hopefully with lots of singing, will all warm up a little bit. That's certainly what I'm going for, as I'm a bit chilly here this evening.
Beautiful. Your dog woke up, by the way, Tammy.
Did you?
Really perked up, yes.
I think I disrupted her sleeping.
It's a nice beat tune. So we're on page 18 for Hashkivenu.
And we'll join together with the melody that been singing over the last few weeks. A new melody, probably for many, as it is for me. It uses the words from the left-hand side of the page in the English. Let there be love and understanding among us, and let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms, as well as the Hashkivenu line in the Hebrew. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship
turn to page 20 for the Chatzi Kaddish. And if it's your practice, please do rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrei chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei. V'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman karib. Ve'imaru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevorach. Le'olam ulal me'amaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitba'ah, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Dekudesha B'richu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbachata v'nechemata, Da'amiram ve'alma, Ve'imaru, Amen. And we turn to page 74 in preparation for the Tefillah, the Amidah, but I would actually like to read you a blessing before we go into the Amidah. It's a prayer of blessing that's from this book, Where Healing Resides, which is a book written by the Mishkan Tefillah people, the same people. But it's actually taking lots of little readings and prayers and poems from rabbis in America, across America, and they're lovely. They're really lovely. This one is by Rabbi Elliot Kukla, and we will have heard it before. You might have heard it before. It was used in the healing services a few years ago. Rabbi Kim found, I think, knew Rabbi Kukla. And I particularly like this one because it includes Jacob, and we're just reading all about Jacob in Torah. So it's a prayer of healing actually for mental illness. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless me with strength and healing as I struggle with emotional distress and mental suffering. This isn't just for people who are openly suffering, but I think sometimes we suffer inside when we're not feeling so wise, when we're feeling burdened by things that are happening around us. May I walk in the footsteps of Jacob, King Saul, Miriam, Hannah, and Naomi, who lived with dark moods, hopelessness, isolation, and terror, but survived and led our people. Just as our father Jacob spent the night wrestling with an angel and prevailed, may I be granted the endurance to wrestle with pain and prevail, night upon night. Grant me the faith to know that though like Jacob I may be wounded, shaped and renamed by this struggle, still I will live on to continue an ever unfolding, unpredictable path toward healing. May I not be alone on this path, but accompanied by family in all its forms, friends, caregivers, ancestors, and the divine presence. Surround me with loving kindness, grace, and companionship, and spread over me a sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace and wholeness. And we turn to, as I said, page 74, and Tammy will lead us in the first 3 blessings, and then we'll have time to pray the rest of the prayers if we want to, or the prayers of our heart. We're joined together on page 100.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיים מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. I have one more reading for you this evening, which is from Abraham Joshua Heschel, And it's about choose life. It comes from the mahzor of the Reform movement in England. Choose life is the great legacy of the Hebrew Bible. However, life is not a thing static and final. Life means living. And in living, you have to choose a road, direction, goals. Pragmatists who believe that life itself can provide us with the criteria for truth overlook the fact that forces of suicide and destruction are also inherent in life. The essence of living as a human being is being challenged, being tempted, being called. We pray for wisdom, for laws of knowing how to respond to our being challenged. Living is not enough by itself. Just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. And yet being alive is no answer to the problems of living. To be or not to be is not the question. The vital question, says Heschel, is how to be and how not to be. And we turn to the Aleinu on page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא מטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומשב יקרו בשמיים ימה, ושכינתו זו בגופים מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Oh no, I've come out.
So you are still there. I think you just need to turn your camera back on.
Sorry. Oh dear. So as we gather to remember those in our community who have died and to support those who are observing Shiva and Shloshim, we remember those in the Shiva, those who've recently died in the last week: Julia Scheinkastel, June Simmons, whose funeral was just today, and Ilse Wolfson. And we remember in the Shloshim, Antonia Abel, Ross Philip Cohen, Helga Duband, Pam Dura, Shoshana Grumach, Thurston Julius, who is a family friend of TJ Murtagh, who may be with us this evening, Elsa Elizabeth Just, and Minnie Kahan. And we remember the yard sites of Barney Bassin, Fega Barrison, Chloe Howard, Andrew Moore, Lillian Morgan, mother of Fred, Shlomo Mashinsky. And we join together in the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma divrachu te, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'lamei al-maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadal v'yithaleh v'yithalal, shmei d'kudusha barichu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiram v'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabba bin Shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Benromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Val Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru. Amen. Hamakom Yenachem B'toch Sha'ar Avlei Tzion, Yerushalayim. May you all be blessed and comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And we have a final song. Do we have any announcements to make?
This Sunday is Mitzvah Day. And so TBI is participating in a program, Packing Bags of Love for Impact. So we hope that anyone who is around to go to the warehouse on Sunday, there are 2 shifts, morning and afternoon. You can find all the information from our weekly from last week or on the TBI website. Please do sign up and join with us. That's
fantastic. That's a fantastic project. Really, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and lots of
for Impact actually.
Sorry,
I just sang in a concert for Impact.
Oh, lovely. Oh, good. Yes, after lots of unsure months, not knowing how we'd be able to join together for Mitzvah Day, it's lovely to have this project and for people to gather in person. So please do look out for that. And Daily Daven continues this week, and you can register for services for this Shabbat. Also, all on the TBI website.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for joining me in leading.
Lovely.
And Erev Tov to everybody. We'll go out on a lovely song from Tammy.
Join together with Ozi Vezimrakia, a song for strength, assuming my dog will sit down and not jump on me. Ozi